Any updates on your injured players? Are Frida, Rachel, and Leah any closer to featuring this Sunday?
Yeah, so we've currently got a few out. So Frida and Rach are training, so probably more likely for either the Brand start, Asif, or London City. Gabby's probably be about a week away. And then Leah is probably a couple of weeks away. So those are probably Simi's probably a little bit further, probably about 2 or 3 weeks away. So then they're not major injuries; they're just hangovers from kind of like the last end of last season and so on. So they should be all right in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Last year, you told me that Grace Clinton was someone you wanted to see at the club for years to come. How do you think it got to the stage where she's now saying the future of the club and I are on the same page? Is the failure to keep her a failure on the part of the club?
I don't think it's that. I think from our perspective, want to thank Grace. I think we've been quite clear in that. We as managers can have personal relationships with players and we can see things differently, but for us, what's clear is if we wanted people, I think we're trying to learn from the past mistakes. If they don't want to be here, then we have to make sure we find the best solution for Manchester United. And Grace has made her decision. That's what she wants to do. And from my perspective, we have a fantastic player in Jess Park, so I'm really looking forward to working with her. Again, bright young talent that I think we can get even more out of than she's shown at City. So for us, look, it's disappointing for, I'm sure, the fans' perspective, but we have to move forward with players that want to be 100% of Manchester United, and that wasn't the case. So, we move forward.
Yeah, cheers, Mark. Best luck on
Thank
Sunday,
you, Asif. Good to speak to you, mate.
Thanks, Asif. Jamie, please.
Hey, Mark. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Jay. Good to see you, mate.
You just touched on Jess Park there, Mark. What is it about her that is enticing in a player? I know she can play in the 10, but she can also play on the wing. How helpful is that for the squad?
It's fluidity, Jay. That's the reality. I spoke to Jess, and obviously, her focus is in those 10 central pockets. But when I look at it and I look at her versatility of quality, it's quality though. It's not just she can play here. It's actually she invades spaces so well. And what I love most about Jess, and I've told her this, is that when she picks up the ball, she makes things happen, Jay. She can score, she can create, and and it's not a fault of Manchester City, but what I think we can get more out of, because I think she'll be able to finish that product rather than have to maybe lend the pass a little bit more, and so I think she'll be able to dribble, drive, create more for us. So, but more importantly, I think when you speak to Jess, she's got this wonderful rebellious attitude towards I just want to win, I want to be here, and again she's 100% in, Jay. So that for me is so enticing. I think our fans will fall in love with her. I have no doubt. She's incredible talent and someone I'm looking forward to nurturing even more. I have a good record of nurturing young talent, so I want to make sure that I do the same with Jess and bring, we're looking to bring silverware. So we've not just bought a player in, we've bought a player in of high level quality that has so much more to go as well.
And Mark, through to the second round of the qualifiers for the Champions League. Congratulations about that. You spoke about last week. Do you have the squad to go through into the league phase, compete across 4 competitions? Yeah. Do you believe that Manchester United have done enough this transfer window, and you're happy with the squad?
Yeah, look, I think there's 2 sides to that, Jan. I'll be very honest, and so from our perspective, look, I think the players who brought in have been incredible. If you looked at bringing in experience to a really talented young group, you've got a Barcelona player, you've got a Bayern Munich player, you've got a Manchester City player. So, and just their experience in terms of international and what they've won. I think they've won 30 titles between themselves. So, for me, we've got the experience. Depth will be something we need to address in the winter window too. We have to be active in the winter window, in my opinion. So I must stress, it's not about not being happy. I think, look, again, if we're being really honest, the window's gone crazy, right? I'm just hearing about the Grace Euro move. That is crazy. So to navigate, and I think you've seen this, probably all the calls you've had as journalists and so on, the window and the market has just shifted so much that actually I think a lot of teams will have looked at it and gone, we need to strategise in a slightly different way. So to answer that, long story short, I think we have for now exactly the right team that we want. But I think in the winter window we have to add to this group if we want to continue that and give that extra charge.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, mate. Good to speak to you.
Thanks, Jamie. Rachel, please.
Hi, Mark.
Good morning, Rach. Good to see you.
You too. Just wondering a bit about Leicester. I feel like they're a little bit of an unknown at the moment, given no manager and the number of players who've gone out and a few come in, I guess. So in terms of preparing for them, is it quite a different prospect than it usually would be?
Do you know what, Rachel? I think I'm probably one that has one of the most experience, being the longest current serving manager. I think this has happened to us before. I remember Mal and I think Mikey came in at Brighton, so we've had it a few times. Like Leicester, I know Rick very well. He's a great guy, and I think he'd do a great job for Leicester, especially in the interim, as I believe it to be. But for us, we have to prepare to adapt in this game. We have no idea really what they'll be able to play. The players coming in, I saw Rosella joined last night. So for us, I think just preparing for all the adaptations and being ready. Really, Rach, it's good preparation for like Champions League as well, because teams can adapt and change on you there. So we've got to be ready. We're in front of our fans, so we want to give our very best. So I'm looking forward to the challenge of Leicester on the weekend.
And how beneficial has the qualifiers been to your preparation for the WSL? Because it's almost like maybe you're a little bit further ahead than other teams might be in terms of preparation.
Absolutely, and we are. So I would probably describe it as we're competition ready. We've had to play knockout games already, so we've already felt that pressure. Whereas we're hoping, especially in the first few games, that gives us the advantage. It takes probably about 5-6 games for teams to get up to speed, really. To see where they're going to lie in the season. So for us, hopefully that allows us to be competition ready. And as I say, I was really pleased with the way the players performed in those 2 games, especially as the challenges of the injuries that we'd had at that time.
Right, thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thank you, Ray. Good to speak to you.
Thank you. Charlotte, please.
Morning, Mark.
Good morning, Sean. Not bad. You?
Oh, good, thanks.
Good
you said you wanted to bring in 2 more players in the forward line and then more of a utility player. I presume that was either in the back line or at right back to replace Aoife Mannion. Can you just explain what efforts you put in to make those deals happen and why they didn't come off?
Yeah, so we, again, partly due to the market changing, Charlotte, like that's the reality. But we looked at a couple of teams, a couple of players from abroad, especially for the right back area cover, and they didn't materialise in this window. But we've done a lot of work, I think, for the winter window as well, Charlotte, in terms of putting things in place. So we weren't able to get the right back over the line. I think we have enough in the front line to adapt and be able to cover the 2 games per week, hopefully. But apart from that, we just the targets, people moving their prices. So for us, I think, and just not availability, people didn't want to lose some of their players in this window, reality, Charlotte. So those are probably the 3 factors that decided we're not going to get them in this window. But as I say, we already done work for the winter window.
Understood. Thanks, Mark. And just going back to Grace, she said that the next step is about growth. She wants to continue to develop and learn. Do you feel like Manchester United is a place that players can develop and learn?
I've no doubt. I'm not just saying that. You'd expect the stock answer, wouldn't you? But no. I mean, Jess Park's exactly the same. She's come the other way because she wants to continue to learn. She wants to get better and she wants to be unlocked to her capacity. So from our perspective, look, it just sometimes you change the context, you change the player. So that's what Grace has decided to do. That's her decision. And I have no doubt with especially the young talent Charlotte provided and produced and supported over the last few years. Like it's an incredible place to be for players to develop. So, I mean, from my perspective, as I say, I think the club, they thank Grace for her service. They wish her the best, but I can't wait to get Jess in and the quality she'll bring to us will be incredible. So, the other thing that we don't know as well is the pipeline of player coming through. Simi Wuja, I'm really looking forward to promoting this year and giving her an opportunity, because actually when we've played in pre-season, her playing in the higher pocket where Grace would have played, is she's shown incredible talent too, and of course we've got Ella Toon, so we have depth in that area of quality. So for us, it's a right move, and I feel really, really happy with Jess coming in.
Super. All the best for
Thank
the weekend.
you, Charlotte.
Thanks, Mark.
Have a good day, mate.
Thanks, Charlotte. Kit, please.
Hi, Mark.
Good
Nice
morning,
to see you.
Kit. Hope you're well, mate.
Yeah, and you. You've talked a bit about how the market feels like it's changed this summer and that you need to strategise differently. Can you just expand a bit more on like how Manchester United react to what's happened? Like, can you compete financially if London City are spending $1.5 million on a pledge? Like, what do you do when you see those deals happening?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know where fit, because I've literally just found that out this morning, Kit. You know, I saw the Chelsea one. Chelsea are deep into Champions League competition every year. They've won the league for how many years? So you understand that kind of level of investment. Arsenal won the Champions League. So, and who would have thought that in this window we've had 4 £1 million players? Is that right? Something like that, around that, with Avale as well in Orlando. Like, I just think we won't be able to right now go to those levels of transfer fee. No, I'll be honest with that. But the reality is we have to try and find our own way to do it. And I think, we have to look at our investment in how we and where we put that in the winter window for sure, Kit. Like we've just got it's moved so quickly. We've gone from I think London City signed the left winger, Corrales as well, and that was at that time the 8th biggest world transfer. So we're not in that realm, so we've got to find our own way, and reality is, Kit, after this soon the window's shut now, so we have to do a refresh review, and I'm sure it's something we can address a little bit later as we start to now go, right, we need to adapt. But what is for certain, Kit, we have to adapt, we have to evolve, and we have to try and find the space in the market where we can bring top players to Manchester United.
Is it frustrating that you say you're not in that realm with London City when London City, while they have a very wealthy owner, they're not Manchester United, who are one of the biggest and richest clubs in the world? Yeah,
but I also again, what I'd say is if Michelle walked away from London City, then that would fall away, right? So the infrastructure would change. So I think for us, it's about, we've said it all along, we want to grow and we want to make sure that we are sustainable. But with the market moving, I know what our group will do, and I know what our leaders will do, and I'll look at how we need to move with the market. So, yeah, look, I wouldn't say frustrating. I just think it's one for us all to reflect on. There'll be pressure on London City now to deliver, and then you've got to deliver under pressure because you've spent big. So, those are factors that we'll see how they do with that. But I don't want to dismiss the work they're doing, because fair play to them. It's hopefully good for the women's game. But we will strategise. We will make sure we have the right plan for Manchester United.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Kit. Have a good day, mate.
Thanks, Kit. Tom, please.
Hi, Mark.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning.
I apologise in advance because these are questions really for the board, but I've just got to pick up on a couple of things you said. Why is it crazy for that money figure euro, and why is that out of reach for Manchester United? In a summer when Manchester United have spent more than £200 million on transfer fees. There is allowance for owners to make contributions within the spending cap, right, in the rules. So, are you not sitting there absolutely exasperated that you've got to run sustainably, but your men's team counterparts can lose enormous amounts of money? Why have you got to run sustainably and not the team in the same building?
I mean, the reality, I have to run sustainably, Tom, because I've got a team that I have to win with, right? And I have to not make excuses, Tom. So I have to sit in front of you, and I see you're passionate about it, and I understand it. But I don't think people see that. I understand it. But also as a leader, you have a responsibility to sit firm, to make sure that your players get the support they need, and still be responsible for them winning, even under the immense pressure of people spending millions. For me, it's something we have to review as a club. For sure, I have no doubt. We have to look at how the market's going. And I'm not going to say frustrated, Tom, because at Manchester United, I have the most pressured job in the country. I don't care what anybody says. I have the most pressured job. Everybody says we should spend this, we should do that. But I have a group of people I'm responsible for, the players, and they need sustainability and they need consistency, and that's how I lead. So for me, I would, of course, look, if you're saying can we spend, would I like to spend 5 million? Of course I would, but it's just not realistic. And I get what you're saying, but the reality is if there's financial fair play in this league, in the women's league, which I don't want, by the way, I don't want, because right now we need to grow. I don't want that. But the reality is there's no way London City will make that transfer fee back for many, 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 many years. So that's what I'm saying. If they didn't have a fantastic investment from Michelle, I understand that. And again, not derogatory towards that. But if they didn't have that, then they wouldn't be able to buy these players. So look, I think, Tom, I understand. I totally sit where you are, and I understand our fans' frustration as well at times, because, as I say, it's moving quicker than anyone could have imagined. As Manchester United, we need to review it, and we need to look at what is the right amount of investment to make sure our team stays competitive and wins things. That's what I mean by competitive. But I want to stress, Tom, the reason I stay the way I am is because as soon as I leave this press conference, I go and meet my players to win a game at the weekend. So I stay in this zone because I have to be quite focused on the task ahead with the players I've got. And you know what, Tom? I love the players I've got. I really do. We have a great group and I have a great team that wants to fight hard. And I think, as a group and as a team, we will continue to look at what the investment looks like needed to be competitive and to win things in this league.
And let's talk about a player that you have got, Jess, a little bit more, if that's okay. How much do you maybe see her playing out wide on the wing or in the 10 or like as an 8? What are you envisaging here from Jess?
Yeah, a bit of both of the first two, really, in terms of from wide positions coming centrally, invading. I've talked to her through the various kind of roles and responsibilities I want her to see, but I think she's excited. Look, she loves the 10 position. But we've played 2 10s before with her and Tooney. Obviously, Simi can fit into that bracket as well. But also with the way that we play our full-backs as well, wing-backs, they can go inside spaces. So as I see it, Tom, very, very clear, I see her in the higher attacking spaces, creating and scoring goals for us. That's how I see Jess.
Thank you. Good luck, Sunday.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for the question.
Thanks, Tom. Holly, please.
Good
how
morning,
do you
Holly.
think the money invested in the transfer market shows the development and the way women's football's going?
I hope it is. Like, I really like it. I know we play against these teams, and we haven't spent that sort of money, but I like the fact that women's football's been invested. That's why I've been in it for so long. But, we have to make sure that what I just hope is that we can continue to do that over a period of time, and it's not just one big bang and then all of a sudden it falls away, because we have to grow with the revenue of the league. When we speak to the league, they're talking about how we grow revenue and so on. And so, of course, bringing players to the league does that, but also sustainability of fans in the stadiums as well has to be something we do. Otherwise you're going to have these multi-million-pound players playing in front of like 1,000 people, and we have to keep growing together. I think the Euros, the success of our Lionesses again, they've done a fantastic job to promote that. So hopefully we see that continued rise into this season.
And just a final one, what are your goals and aspirations for this season?
Always to win. So look, everyone tells us we can't. I've had that from day one, and yet we still seem to find a way. So for us, I want to win with this group. I want to take our fans into Europe. That would be a fantastic. We know how tough that will be against Bran, but we want to take them into Europe, and then we want to compete in all the trophies. So, yeah, look, you'll sit there and go, the million spent. We'll see, won't we? And for us, I think you can tell from my attitude that I have a defiance that will make our team ready for performance and for success.